I need people to understand. I need people to understand before you start typing on your keyboard, before you start yelling at me in all caps. And trust me, I can feel the anger when you're typing to me in all caps, okay? Trust me, it hurts my feelings. So if I snap back at you, I don't want to hear you complaining, okay? But here's a disclaimer. This is important. I need to do this disclaimer because there's a lot of idiots out there. I am no way, shape, or form attacking Mamdani. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that he is a failure, he's a traitor, he's, gonna, turn his back on us. No. As a progressive political commentator, progressive, I am biased as hell. Okay, trust me. If I want to see anybody win, it is progressives 100%. But it is my job, my duty. And if I ever get caught slipping, I need you guys watching to hold me accountable. But it is my job to hold these politicians accountable. If something doesn't look right, if something doesn't smell right, if something doesn't sound right, I have to question it. And the situation with not endorsing, hopefully I pronounce this right, Chiose, to primary Hakeem Jeffries, to a lot of people seems weird. Just to be honest. Once again, I know I'm not on the inside. I'm just a person on the outside looking in. That's why we need transparency. That's why we need honest conversations. We understand that in order to get the progressive change that we want, we need progressives butt cheeks in these chairs, in these leadership positions, within our government. We need the bodies in there. We can't just do this off of hope and dreams and just a handful of progressives. That's not going to work. It hasn't been working. So when we can build off the momentum of Zohran winning, why can't we do that? And yes, I'm on the outside looking in. So tell me, teach me, let me understand why you are not endorsing him, why you don't want someone like Hakeem Jeffries, who you know is going to be against you every step of the way. You know that. History tells us that. So if you don't want him primaried, then tell us why. I don't know. Please let me know. But we tried to get close. And this interview here with Mehdi Hasan, one of my favorites, and you already know he's going to ask Mr. Zohran this question. So let's hear what he has to say.
First, yeah, must
let's see.
weigh on you.
Of the world sees for you, and always reckoning with that, of what you are a part of. You cannot lose sight of all of that.
You recently spoke out against Republicans refusing to extend subsidies for the Affordable Care Act during the shutdown. You were against the 8 Senate Democrats who voted with Trump and the Republicans to reopen the government. Chuck Schumer oversaw that debacle. There's some reporting.
Before you keep going, Dora, can you get my phone for 1 second? I want to show you one photo.
Okay.
You can keep going.
All right, I'll keep going. You recently spoke out against the Republicans. Chuck Schumer oversaw that debacle in the Senate. A lot of people say he was involved in the negotiating magazines. A lot of people are upset with him. The polls show he's super unpopular. Is it time for Chuck Schumer to go?
I think it's time for me to focus on this transition and to start.
Okay. Okay. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. That's all I can do, okay? If you hate it, if you don't like it, then that's on you. I really don't care, to be honest. But I got to be honest. That's a weird answer. That's a weird answer. Like, I know you're a politician. I know you got to pivot everything back to New York and back to affordability. But damn, can you just answer the question? If a Republican politician or a pundit pivot from a question like that, I would call it out. Everybody would call that out, but like, hey, he's not answering the question. And we would dogpile on that. Trust me, Scott Jennings is known for that. So why can't he just simply answer the damn question? You already won. Why are we doing this? Why are you talking to me like a politician? Why are you doing that to me? But okay, that's not it. That's not the good stuff yet. Let's continue.
Time for Chuck Schumer to go.
I think it's time for me to focus on this transition and to start delivering for New Yorkers from day one. I think I've been clear. I think it was a very bad deal. It does not make any sense to me to have fought for the extension.
But you
of
are now,
healthcare
sorry to break
subsidies.
this to you, Zohran Mamdani, you are now a prominent national Democrat. Your name is up there when people talk about Democratic leaders. So when we're talking about Chuck Schumer's effectiveness, whether he should stay in the role, people expect you to have an opinion.
I can tell you the opinion of the deal. That is not a deal.
How about the opinion of the Democratic Party and how it behaved?
I think
Disappointing?
I think you cannot separate the party at large from that deal. I mean, this was a shutdown, which was because of the Republican Party's insistence on throwing millions of Americans off of healthcare to the extent that they would rather shut the entirety of the government down,
Yes.
throw millions of people off of SNAP benefits, and then after all of those days, to just reopen it without having won any of those same demands. It begs the question of what was the point of all this?
Yeah. And the polling shows, unfortunately, that Democrats are now associated with having lost the battle for the shutdown, having been ahead. Speaking of Democratic leadership, the New York Times...
All right, once again, and trust me, I love me some Mehdi Hasan. Okay, trust me. If I had a Mount Rushmore list of the political progressive commentators, it would be Mehdi Hasan, Sam Cedar, and Mark Lamont Hill. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, that's my top three right there. So it's like, Mehdi, can you please? I know maybe you guys are on some sort of time constraint. I get it. But can you please pressure him a little more? Don't make him break. I get it. You don't want to pounce on him. This is an ally. I get it. But kind of press up on that a little more. Like, hey, Chuck Schumer, the head of his caucus, and they're the ones that turned on everybody and gave in. Do you think that sort of person needs to be primaried, kicked out the seat? I don't know, whatever. But no, okay, it's cool, Mehdi Hasan, I got you. Let's continue.
It was recently reported that you dissuaded young progressive city council member Chi Osei from primarying House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Is it true that you discouraged him from running? And if so, why? Many would say Hakeem Jeffries also needs primarying, not just Chuck Schumer.
You know, what I've shared is that I have deep respect for what she has done at the city council, especially for tenants. And for those who don't know, you should look into the FAIR Act. And I believe that the most critical fight right now in delivering affordability and taking on an authoritarian administration is right here in New York City. But give me 1 second. I want to show you something very quickly.
Okay.
You're asking me about Chuck Schumer. If I could just take the top phone. So
This is the phone that all uncles can
this is the
call
phone that
Zohran on.
who is this?
That is your father, Mahmoud Mamdani.
Who does he look increasingly
Oh,
like?
Chuck Schumer. Is that why you won't call for Chuck Schumer to go? Because
Right?
he looks
Doesn't
like your
this look
dad.
just like
Because he looks like your dad.
this is my dad?
Him and Chuck Schumer have very different views on the Middle East.
But they have the same vantage point from the glasses.
Okay. So now you
I
know
wanted to
why.
make sure that was.
Now you know.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I need to be honest with you. What are we doing here? What just happened? In the middle of giving a very important answer that a lot of progressives like myself want to get some insight on, and you want to interrupt your answer to show a picture of your dad looking like Chuck Schumer. Okay, I seen a picture. It is kind of funny. I get it. But damn, can we wait until like after the interview? That just really bugged me. And of course, when he sits back down, he's going to get back into it. But I don't know. And you could just look on Mehdi's face. Like, What are we doing here? Like, can you get your ass in this green chair, which looks expensive and comfortable? Get your ass in that chair and answer my question. Look at his face.
Have the same vantage point from the glasses.
Okay. So now you know
wanted to make
why.
sure that was-
Now you know why.
This is a Teo exclusive.
Zateo exclusive. Why Zohran Mamdani will not call for Chuck Schumer to go because he looks like his dad. On Chi Osei and Jeffries, you were saying.
On Chiosei and Jeffries.
Yeah. Should he not? If he runs, will he have your support?
I've said, while I appreciate the work that he's done at the council, I think that the focus of the fight should be right here in New York City.
So interestingly, the Times is reporting that you discouraged him from primarying Hakeem Jeffries, but that you encouraged New York City comptroller, whatever you call the damn job, Brad Lander.
You have to say the word right to ask the question.
Everyone says it differently. Brad Lander to challenge Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman, not a fan of yours, in New York's 10th congressional district. Where did that idea come from? Why encourage Brad Lander to run for Congress rather than not make him your deputy mayor?
I continue to count Brad as a friend. He's someone who I had the opportunity to know before we both ran for mayor, and he's someone who continues to be someone I look to for advice, someone I look to build with. But a lot of the New York Times reporting on this question, it goes beyond the conversations we're actually having.
So have you encouraged him to challenge Dan Goldman?
I've encouraged him to keep focusing on the job at hand, which is serving New Yorkers.
By possibly primarying Dan Goldman? That would be a way of serving New Yorkers.
The conversations I've had with Brad have had to do with New York City.
All right, you can read into that what you want.
Okay. I'm sorry. That was not a great answer. That doesn't give me any insight or any comfort on your strategic choice here. It doesn't. And like I said, I support dude. I get it. I don't want people yelling at me, oh my God, you're always attacking other progressives. Like, bro, shut up. Okay, pay attention. Listen to what I'm saying. You still need to be held accountable for your actions. And what you're saying is you don't want a primary from an individual that we all know 9.999%, 99.999% that Hakeem Jeffries is not going to be an ally. He's going to be an obstacle for you trying to get what you want done in New York. We know that. Damn it, we know that. So why would you not want him out your way? And I get it. It might be something that I'm not privy to. Let me know. Let us know. Damn it. Is that so hard to ask for? I guess so.
You said that as mayor, you'd be keeping on NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Many of your critics on the left say that keeping Tisch would be a continuation of the status quo here in New York City. She's against bail reform. She's spoken out against pro-Palestine protesters. She's even worked in the intelligence division that constructed a surveillance system for Muslims in New York. What do you say to your supporters who are a little bit disillusioned on this one appointment and say, come on, Zohran, why would you keep her on?
So I said in the primary that I would consider keeping on Commissioner Tisch, and then I said in the general that this is a decision I was making to retain her. And much of that had to do with the fact that when Eric Adams had appointed Commissioner Tisch, he had truly stacked the upper echelons of the NYPD with corruption and a complete lack of accountability. And what she has been able to do in the time that she's been commissioner has been to start to root that corruption out, start to deliver accountability and reduce crime across the 5 boroughs. And that this is an appointment that I would make in tandem with delivering on the agenda that we put forward over the course of the primary. That's an agenda that will create a Department of Community Safety. That is an agenda that will ensure that we are dismantling the strategic response group as the way the NYPD responds to protests. And it's an agenda that understands that safety and justice have to be delivered together. This is a decision that fulfills and then develops that.
Are you planning on expanding the size of the New York Police Department?
No, I've said that the number of police officers that the department has is a sufficient number. The most important thing is that we only ask those officers to do the work of policing, as opposed to now, we're asking them to also take on the homelessness crisis, the mental health crisis, so many different examples of the failures of the social safety net. That's going to be the focus of the Department of Community Safety.
Just on Commissioner Tish, according to the New York Daily News, she received advance notice from the Trump administration about that horrific ICE raid along Canal Street last month, and that she apparently directed NYPD officers to stay away from ICE agents who were doing their jobs. Has that changed your view of her at all? And will that kind of thing be happening next year on your watch as well?
What I will make clear as the leader of the city is that the days of a mayor going on national television and opening the door to civil immigration enforcement, as Mayor Adams did, those days are coming to an end. The NYPD is not going to assist ICE in their operations, and we are going to fulfill the laws of our city and our state, not violate them.
Now, I hear what he's saying, and I hear the politics behind it, but I want to know, your police force doesn't have to assist ICE. I get that. I wouldn't want that. Being a sanctuary city, the local police officers do not assist ICE in their duties. I get that. But what we're wanting is our police officers to even hold ICE agents accountable for trampling over people's constitutional rights. If you're ripping women out of broken glass windows to pull them out by their hair, can we get a police officer, please? If we have masked agents harassing people, running into their car, tackling them in the middle of a hallway, can we get the police guys to do police things? That's my concern. You see what I'm saying? And once again, I applaud Mehdi, but we need to challenge our people. We need to make sure we are holding them accountable. No excuses. I'm sorry. I'm not that guy. If you're looking for a fuzzy wuzzy teddy bear type of political progressive person, that's not me. I'm sorry. I have a lot of rough edges and sharp corners. You protect yourself. So all I'm saying is, can you reassure us that you are going to combat ICE when? Because I don't trust Trump. I don't trust Trump as far as I can throw his fat ass. I don't trust him. So when push comes to shove, are you going to protect your New Yorker citizens? That doesn't make sense. New Yorker citizens, are you going to protect them? Let's see what he says.
So just to be clear, if a Canal Street happened again, the NYPD commissioner on your watch would not be directing NYPD officers to stay out of it and let ICE do whatever they want.
The NYPD commissioner would not be directing the NYPD to assist ICE in those operations. And I've also made clear that we should hold anyone in this same city and same state to the same set of laws, no matter who they are or what agency they're performing for.
What is going to be?
Hey, I want to see that. I want to see that. And I'm going to stress, I can't stress this enough. I know I'm going to get comments of people saying that we are eating our own, we are setting our expectations and our principles too high. No. If you're typing that, or if you already typed that, I'm sorry, you're an idiot, and I'm going to call you one in the comments. Okay, so don't be mad at me when I call you an idiot for something that I have disclaimed to you already. We need to make sure we're holding him accountable. And we know as progressives that we need more seats. We need more asses in seats in order to see the progressive change that we want. That's like basic math there. You see what I'm saying? So we need, as supporters of a progressive candidate, we need transparency and we need honesty. If you're not giving that to us, we're going to ask. We're going to challenge you every step of the way. And just like you, hopefully, just like you, I don't support the person, in a sense. I don't glorify Zohran Mamdani. I don't glorify AOC. I don't glorify Bernie Sanders. I pursue the policies, the progressive policies. That's what I'm championing. That's what I'm glorifying, is the policies. So if we have another Fetterman on our hands, we need to get him out ASAP.
Hey.
Blow him off the map ASAP.
Yeah. Let's see how you do under
That's it.
pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me.